Hey, hey, hey. Good day, everybody. Good day. Welcome to Sip with Rev Melissa. And Sip is spirit in practice. And yes, today's show is also pre recorded. And I hope you've been enjoying the pre recorded shows this week. And I appreciate you sending me love, energy, and putting comments in because it all still counts. It all still counts. It doesn't matter. Well, I won't say that. It still counts, even though it's not live. It still counts. All right. So we are in our When the Road Gets Rocky series, or the Rocky Road series, to keep it short. And it's another series that is just unfolding. It's just unfolding every day. And through the inspiration of Ernest Holmes' book, this thing called You, which I have been referring to all week. And so our baseline question is this: what do you do when the road gets rocky? What do you do when the road gets rocky, right? And we have different mechanisms that we turn to when things start to get a little rough for us, right? Some of us, some of us gets like it's like the thing that we needed, right, to keep us moving. Or some of us, retreat, some of us just dead stop, right? Right there in the middle of the street, not knowing what to do and not knowing where to go, right? But we have the resources within us to mm, to persevere through all the rocky roads that might show up in our life, right? So yesterday we talked about one of the things that we need, one of the qualities that we need, but it's more than that. One of the fundamental ingredients, if you will, of what we need when we're on the rocky road, when the road gets rocky, is faith. We need faith. And Ernest Holmes said in the book that faith is a mental attitude. It is a mental attitude. Yes? And it's a mental attitude because everything is happening in the mental realm, right? Our subconscious mind, our conscious mind, aligning with spirit, God, source energy, creative substance, whatever you want to call it, right? The invisible descends into the subconscious mind, the subjective mind, and you get formed, right? That's how the creative process works. And so it's important to keep the faith as you move through that process that is moving through you. Keep faith as you move through the process that is moving through you. Don't get stuck by the rocks. Don't let the rocks stop you. Keep moving through the process, and faith will help you do that, right? So our subconscious mind, we know that our subconscious mind will negate things, right? We say we want to do this, and our subconscious mind immediately will go into overdrive, right? To tell us all the reasons why we can't. Bring up past, right? So we know this. I've been talking about this for quite some time now, right? So we know this. We know that we have to impress upon our subconscious mind the truth that we are faithful even when the road gets rocky. Yes? So we have to do whatever it is that we need to do for ourselves to stay lifted, to stay encouraged, right? As we go through these moments, right? Because this too shall pass. Whatever it is, this too shall pass. So I want to read something from the book, this thing called You by Ernest Holmes. And I love this whole section. If you have the book, I'm reading from chapter 6. I love this whole chapter. It's like the whole chapter is highlighted. It's just ridiculous. So this is what he writes. Often you may find that even though you start with an enthusiastic conviction, you become stranded on the rock of unbelief. Refuse to let this discourage you. The law still is that it is done unto you as you believe. No matter how subtle the thoughts of lack, fear, uncertainty, or loneliness may become, they do not belong to you. Become master of your thinking, hence, master of your faith. I love that. Refuse to let this discourage you. Refuse to let whatever is happening while you're on the rocky road, refuse to let it discourage you. You know what happens, right? We say we're going to do something, right? Sekou's the perfect example of this, right? So he started June 1st, his running at least 1 mile every single day, right? And I don't know what day he's on, but he's in the 3 digits, y'all. He's in the 3 digits. How many of those days do you think he was enthusiastic about running? Probably a handful. He's in the green room. He's saying 4 days out of 100 and something. He felt enthusiastic. He probably felt very enthusiastic on the first day. He probably felt very enthusiastic because at first his intention was to do it for the month of June, his birthday month. So he probably felt very enthusiastic on June 30th. And then he said 4 days, so there's 2 more days in there. Something was happening, right? Maybe July, the end of July, because that was another milestone. And maybe day 100. I don't know. I got them. He's giving me the thumbs up, right? 4 days out of 100 and something. He felt enthusiastic. He felt like, yeah, I got this. I'm doing this. Yeah. Now, what happens those other days, those other 100 days when he wasn't feeling so enthusiastic? When the road he was running on started off feeling a little rocky, right? You don't lose faith. You keep running, even if it's rocky underneath your soles. Because your soul, S-O-U-L-E, is not rocky. Your soul is not rocky. Your soul knows, right? So when Ernest Holmes says that it doesn't belong to you, he said, no matter how subtle the thoughts of lack, fear, uncertainty, or loneliness may be, they do not belong to you. They do not belong to you. Meaning that it is not who you are. It is not the truth of who you are, right? So you keep going, right? And sometimes, a lot of times, we need support in helping us to keep going, right? And so that support could look like your circle of people that you have around you who believe in you, right? Who are encouraging you. Yes? But there is nothing like being able to encourage yourself. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. So even in the midst of, I don't want to do it, I don't think I could do it, even in the midst of that, we can affirm It is so hot in here. We can affirm what we know is true. We can affirm what we know is true by letting go of those thoughts that don't belong to us. They belong in the past. They belong with whoever planted the thoughts, those seeds in the first place. They don't belong to you, right? So when the road gets rocky, be encouraged. And how can you be encouraged? By keeping going. Because at some point, it shifts in the midst of you being and doing whatever it is that you set out to do. It starts to shift. All that stuff falls away. All that stuff falls away. And the wonderful thing is, although we don't see it as so wonderful, is that the next day we get to do it again. We get to practice again, having faith, being encouraged, inspiring ourselves, inspiring others by inspiring ourselves. We get to do it again. Yes? All right. So where I wrote down, where are you looking? Where are you looking for encouragement and inspiration in order to continue to do what your heart's desiring for you to do? Where do you go? Do you go anywhere? Do you look to anything? What are your practices for yourself to help you support yourself as you travel on these rocky roads? It's important to have a go-to already in your back pocket. It's important to have a go-to already in your back pocket. So it might be your affirmation. It might be a good little talking to yourself in the mirror. It might be just taking that first step, right? In Sekou's case, it might just be putting on his sneakers. What is it for you, right? I know for myself. Now, I'm not in the three digits like Sekou. Nowhere near it. I even stopped counting, y'all. I even stopped counting, right? But I know for myself, thinking about doing it doesn't really get me moving. Thinking about doing it doesn't get it. It doesn't do it for me. What does it for me is doing something. How do I want to say this? Let's stay with the running analogy. What does it for me is just getting out of the house. What does it for me, even just turning on my app will do it for me. Just taking my phone out and looking at the app will do it for me. Something that's in alignment with what it is that I want to do. Taking that action will do it for me. And it's not a major thing. It's a little thing that I need to do to just move me forward, And then once I start moving in the direction that I want to go, I can go. All that stuff starts to fall away because I start to remember again that it doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to me. So I can go. And I'm telling y'all, I've had this experience. I don't know why I'm talking about running so much today, But one of my things has been to increase the distance of jogging. So first my intention was I just walk, right? So I've been doing that for a minute now. So I just walk. And then my intention shifted to, okay, I want to walk and jog, right? So I would just start to jog a little after I walked a little. And I would do that like one time, like just put one little jog in there. And then as time went on, I was like, okay, I want to jog and walk a little bit more. So I might do 2 rounds of jogging mixed into the walking. And that has evolved into distance. I wonder if I could run through this park without stopping, right? Now, if I stay in that thinking about it for too long, I want to think myself right out of it. I am. Because that subconscious mind gets to working. But as soon as I put myself in that position and I go, and then I say, okay, I'm going to make it to that tree. And then I make it to the tree. Oh, let me make it to another tree. And I just keep going and going and going until I am through the park. And now it's to the point where I can go through the park to my block, to my house. Right? It wasn't a smooth path to doing that. It was rocky. But when we are in alignment and when we are clear about what belongs to us and what doesn't, we could keep moving. We could move past those obstacles. Yes? So where's your inspiration and encouragement coming from? Let it come from being in action. Doing one little thing that points you in the direction that you want to go, even if the road is rocky. All right, y'all. All right. So we're going to continue on this journey on the rocky road because we need to be able to navigate all this stuff, right? We need to be able to navigate ourselves with ourselves. So that's what we're doing. Because what is this all about? It's all about you. This thing called you. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. All right. So I am Rev Melissa. I am an ordained interfaith minister. I am a licensed religious science practitioner, and I am a purpose coach, and I am the spiritual director, senior minister at Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living. And this is my ministry of joy, where I support people in living life in joy, connected to their yes. So if you need support, if you're on a rocky road right now, reach out to me. Reach out and we can set up some time to talk. Yes? If my ministry resonates with you and you would like to give a love offering, I would certainly appreciate it. You can do so at Cash App or Venmo. All right, y'all. I think it's time for some joy news. All right. So, save the date because Sunday is a doozy. I was thinking about this on the train today. I said, oh, Lord. Talking about thinking, what were you thinking? But here we go. It's a 3-1 Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, living life in joy. Tune in for my special guest. All right. Then at 11:30 Eastern Time, Rockland CSL, I will be speaking. We are back in service live in person. So if you would like, if you're in the Westchester, It don't matter. If you're in New York State, New Jersey, come on over come across the Tappan Zee if you're on this side of the road, whatever. Come on over to Rockland CSL for our in-person service, but we're also doing service virtually, so it's hybrid. So you can watch us on Facebook Live, and you can also participate in the service by going to Zoom. You could go to our website, rocklandcsl.org. Okay, so that's Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And guess what the topic is, y'all? When the road gets rocky. That's what's the inspiration for this, when the road gets rocky. So join me for that. And then the third thing on Sunday is meditation with the moon. So it is the harvest moon. So please join me. We're mixing it up, y'all, as you can see this whole week, right? We're continuing to mix it up. 11 p.m. Eastern Time, right where you're watching me now, meditation with the moon. And then we go on Zoom for our after party where we just share the experience with each other, our learnings, our insights, our aha moments, right? And get to fellowship and just spend some time getting to know each other a little better. So that's the rundown for Sunday. 10:30 Living Life in Joy, 11:30 Sunday service celebration at Rockland CSL, and 11 p.m. Eastern Time meditation with the moon. There you go. All right. So I want to check in with Sekou because I kept just name dropping him all through today's sip. So
yeah. So I want to do the 4 days.
Okay.
just to name it. And it's so funny that you said it's only a handful. Yeah, it's specifically 4. I know my number. My number is 4. The first day, you're right about that. 100th day, you're right about that. 50th day, because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've done so much. And my birthday. So those are my 4 days. Those are my 4 days. And today's day, 107. So subtract 4 from that, you get 103 days. 103 days, you just got to gut it out. You know what I'm saying? You just got to do it. And it's funny you said, if you don't know why you talk about running so much today, it's because we're in sync. Like today is Workout Wednesday. And so on my show earlier today, I talked about this. I talked about my 4 days. I talked about how people think it's easy for me now. It ain't easy for me. It ain't easy for me. I talked specifically about day 106. Day 106 was not a good look. It was not a good look. And I did exactly what you just said. I did it in pieces. I said, well, let me just put my clothes on. Well, let me just get downstairs. Let me just sit on this flower bed on the street for a while. I had to baby step it before I got to my thing. So yeah, it ain't easy. You just gotta work for it. You gotta work for it.
Yeah.
You gotta find your baby steps and stay consistent with your baby steps. And just like you talked about, it evolves. Like you start with, I'm just gonna walk, but you do that consistently enough, and something inside you shifts and says, let's do more.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't happen if you're not consistent. If you're inconsistent, you stay right in the same place. Mm-hmm. But when you're consistent enough, something inside you is like, all right, I think we can do something else now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that you had pointed out before, Sekou, was the consistency is what enables you to go further. Right? Yep. Because when I did that jog, I was shocked. I was shocked that I ran all the way through the park. Yeah. I was shocked that I was able to do it.
Yeah. The consistency is what builds the muscles.
Yeah.
And mostly is you wearing down your mind, wearing down the I can't mind. That's what you got to do. You got to get past that because it keeps popping up. There's so many things I've done now that I started off thinking, oh, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. There's no way I could do that. And every once in a while, I waver a little bit, but because I've done these things so often, I'm more easily able to push past it and say, yes, I can do that, and I can do more, just because of the consistency of pushing past all the excuses, all the don't want tos, all the aches and pains, all the things. 103 days of pushing past. 4 days of yeah, I can do it, and 103 days of pushing through. Just do the math. It's hard work.
Yes. Hard work. Yes. So we could start a list of, because that I can't thing doesn't belong to us. Yes. It doesn't belong to us, because we know through us all things are possible, right? Because we are a vessel for the divine. So I can't don't belong to us. Try does not belong to us, right? We could start a list of all the things that we sometimes say or believe that does not belong to us. And I can't is one of those things.
Amen.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, y'all. So you heard it. You heard it from me and you heard it from Sekou. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Just do something. Just do a little something, and it'll get you going. If you're on a rocky road, stay encouraged. Be uplifted. All right, y'all. So join me tomorrow for Morning Sip, 10:30 a.m. We will be wrapping up the When the Road Gets Rocky series. And yeah. So peace and blessings, peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.